Sounds like me after too many pizzas. But this is no call for a laxative. It is instead a fascinating indie puzzle game. BLOCKT, which I'm fairly certain could do with an apostrophe, but I won't belabor the point, takes the cube rolling action I fell in love with in Devil Dice and Bombastic, removes the numbers from the faces of said cubes, and instead welds them together on contact. Also gravity. Relentless gravity. That and your own lack of spatial coordination are your only opponents in this game. It's a $1 puzzle that nearly had me flinging the 360 out in the snow out of frustration. It's brutal. Your brain may liquefy and run out your ears. The game's as simple as can be. Roll the blue cube around, collect all the green cubes, which then become part of the figure you're rolling, and get onto the goal block or blocks. The problem is, though, that you need to be on all of the goal blocks and only the goal blocks, meaning that long line of blocks you've been rolling around has to get there on its end to avoid touching any of the regular blocks. Further, the puzzles themselves aren't flat. You're likely to have to climb ledges at some point during the game, which will require you to construct an unwieldy L-shaped thing. Unfortunately, BLOCKT suffers from a spot of marble madness syndrome, where the 45-degree tilt to the playfield can introduce an error in the controls. And with the constant threat of falling off the world, frustration can grow at an exponential pace. It also doesn't help that the game starts out pretty hard and only gets harder. It'll take trial and error, and rethinking and rethinking, and the occasional swearing fit. Fortunately, I've edited those out. Unfortunately, there's no hint function and no way to skip levels, that I've found anyway. So while later puzzles introduce even more distressing elements like blocks that move simultaneously with your commands, or blocks that'll only stick to blocks of the same color, it'll be a good while until you hit those. And even then, it'll demand some exploits, like running the puzzle in slow motion, giving a command that only one of your blocks can follow, and while it's in its movement animation, giving a command to the other. Coordination is required, not just to manage the woefully unhelpful camera. Each puzzle merits its own celebratory boogie once overcome, and you'll be doing said victory boogie 75 times before all's said and done, if you've got the tenacity to see it through. It's becoming completely obvious. I shouldn't have played this on a Monday. What was I thinking?